back to another video. This one's going to be a little bit different. As you can see here, I started it off digitally, but then we'll transfer into traditional. What I did is I got the symmetry all set up on Procreate and then printed it out and traced it onto a sheet of paper and then finished it off that way. Mainly because I got some new alcohol markers that I wanted to test out and play with, so I figured this was an unfinished drawing from the beginning, so I might as well try it out with that. And I love this character so much, so I couldn't resist. I apologize in advance for how wonky the recording is on this. I started off by like holding my phone while I was trying to like follow my hand motions and stuff, which is very difficult, but I wanted to get something recorded. And then I eventually propped up my phone on a whole bunch of books, and then later on in the video I finally got a proper setup with like a phone holder and light and stuff like that to make it a little bit easier. Anyways, the character that you see here I co-own with Dalel, or she is known as TheTigerPurr on most social media. If I remember correctly, I had initially come up with a rough idea or rough concept for her design, and Dalel just helped me out as far as putting the design all together and like getting the reference sheet drawn up and stuff like that. So she's just a character that we co-own, which I love. Yeah. I also apologize if like the audio, my voiceover, I should say, is cut up. I've probably recorded this a million times and I keep running out of breath because I feel like I need to talk a whole bunch, and I also am rambling and don't know what to talk about. It's not too often that I do voiceovers on my videos, so yeah, sorry about that one too. The video footage may also be a little choppy as well, just because this drawing in particular, I did not think that I was going to finish. I had another one that I was working on the side that I thought would turn out significantly better. Unfortunately, it did not, because I don't have a lot of the colors that I need for that particular drawing, unfortunately. So this one ended up turning out to be my favorite, but at the same time, because I didn't think that it would turn out well, I didn't get a lot recorded. And on top of that, because I'm recording this on my phone, I kept running out of space, so I had to find a way to combine like different clips, and some clips would get cut off and I didn't realize it, and all this other stuff. So there were some technical difficulties with this recording, but because it is something different for my channel, I did want to go ahead and still put it together, and hopefully it turns out good, and hopefully you guys like it. For me personally, I feel like my line art process can be kind of boring to watch because I'm such a perfectionist about things. So I'm really glad that we're in the coloring portion of this, because I feel like no matter what, watching somebody color, especially in time-lapse, there's just something so satisfying about it. So I don't know, I just love this little section of the video so much. The only downside, however, is with this being a new sketchbook, new paper, I was not aware of how my alcohol markers were going to react with the paper, because I've kind of noticed there's a difference in some papers that, you know, they'll bleed more with alcohol markers, some won't. I don't know, maybe that's just me and I don't know a whole lot. I don't normally do traditional drawings that often, so I'm still learning, but you will see a lot of places where like the coloring like bled over the lines and stuff like that, which makes it a little less satisfying, but it's fine. I feel like the end process turned out really well. Another thing that I did not consider before I started this drawing was how dark some of these colors appear on different kinds of paper. When I had tested these markers out to get the exact color palette for the character, this color specifically that I'm working on right now was a lot lighter on different paper than what I'm working with here, so I guess it would have been a good idea to test out the color palette on this paper specifically so I knew exactly what I was going to get. But later on you'll see me use my, what do they call it? I think it's like the blending marker. This one right here. It doesn't have any color to it, it doesn't have any pigment, but it helps blend things out, and it also, if you use it at the right time, will help lighten up darker colors, which you can kind of see right here. Unfortunately, I did not figure this out until probably right around this little part here, roughly. It wasn't going to lighten up that dark section of this character's face as much as I had hoped it would, but I kind of figured out a way to bring back some of the lines, some of the line art that was lost in the process of doing this coloring. So thankfully I have some white pins that I went and used to go over, you know, the line art that you can't really see anymore because I use such a dark color. So as you can see, I kind of tried going over it multiple times with this like blender marker just to see if that would lighten it up even a little bit more to get the lines to show up a little bit better, but it didn't. But it's all right. Like I said, I figured out, you know, a way to kind of make it work where you can still kind of see the details. Anyways, this is probably my favorite part of the whole drawing because this is really where I started to figure out like how to blend the colors where it doesn't have such a harsh line and all of that good stuff. So I don't know, I just really loved coloring the ears too because I love that orangey brown color so much. Like it just pops so well with this character, which kudos to Dalel for. She has amazing design skills when it comes to, you know, designing characters and stuff like that. So I was very excited that she was willing to kind of help me bring this character to life. It was a fun process for sure. I apologize in advance again if I'm repeating myself, but this is where I kind of noticed the most my camera kind of shaking a good bit. I don't remember because I've recorded this so many times now if I had mentioned my recording setup, but because of my lap desk being set up the way that it is, it does have a tendency to shake a lot if I'm not like holding a whole lot of pressure on it. So if that's disorienting, I apologize. I was not aware that it was gonna catch all of those little movements. Also, if there's like long pauses and stuff like that, that's just me trying to like study the markings, because in front of me I have my iPad set up with Peach's reference sheet, so that way I know exactly where to place different markings, and I'm also getting my markers set up and all that good stuff. So there are a few moments I've noticed where there are quite a long pause, but that's also why I have the video kind of sped up as fast as it is. Plus, this video would have been hours long if I didn't speed it up as much as I did. But yeah, just a huge apology for the constant shaking. Hopefully, if I do record another traditional art time lapse, I'll have a better setup. The eyes were definitely the most challenging part of this whole thing, because even though I thought I had kind of figured out the bleeding as far as the markers went, I had not figured it out quite enough. So the colors, as you can kind of start to see here, for the iris start to bleed out of the lines, and it bothers me so much. So I tried to use that blender marker to kind of clean it up a bit, and it did not work out too well, but later on I kind of tried to fix it again with some colored pencils, and I feel like it made it look a little bit better, but I don't know. That's one part that I'm a little iffy on. Oddly enough, coloring the hair was such a challenging process because there's so much of it, and I tried very hard to avoid any of the harsh lines that I've noticed come from overlapping the markers over like already dried portions. So I tried my best to make sure that every part of the hair was like still kind of wet when I went over to continue coloring the rest of it, if that makes any sense. And then this character, Peach, has kind of like in different lighting, a lavenderish kind of hue to her hair, which I definitely wanted to incorporate since I'm, practicing with my alcohol markers. And surprisingly, despite my lack of knowledge on how to use the alcohol markers, I feel like it actually turned out really well, and you still kind of get that same effect, though it's still a little bit different digitally than it is traditionally. I still think it turned out pretty good. And now that we're coming up to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you want to see more traditional time-lapse videos like this one, let me know down in the comments and I will try to make it happen.